What's your biggest breakthrough? Having your first child? Your first $100,000? Maybe your first million? Selling a business? Your third child? Your fifth child? Maybe receiving your college diploma? Your biggest breakthroughs mark the biggest moments in your life that cause transformation to occur. And research by the AARP found that 46% of baby boomers have a bucket list, but fewer than 25% complete them. Meet Wendie Pett. She's the creator of Your Biggest Breakthrough, and for over 20 years, she's worked with hundreds of women, creating transformations and breakthroughs with her unique Visibly Fit and Makeover Multiplier system. Today, she's going to share the 10 transformational stories and journeys about how you can identify your biggest bucket list or breakthroughs, apply a multiplier, and reach your dreams in 10 of the most popular breakthrough categories from years of research. Wendie, it's nice of you to be here today with me.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right. So first of all, I want to begin with a slide, which is that AARP research, because I think this is really, really interesting.
It says a lot.
It is. And if we just take a look at that, so here's the bucket list, and you can see that travel related says 83%. And then you go on down to hobby, financial goals, personal development, but health and wellness is close to the bottom. What's
crazy,
up with
right?
that?
I think people don't realize that their health is their true wealth. If you don't have your health and your wellness, how are you going to travel? How are you going to do your hobbies? You have to show up and be healthy, whole, and complete to do those things. So we really need to shift people's mindsets. I understand they want to travel. That's fantastic. But you have to have your health first. That's really where it starts. Your health in mind, body, and spirit.
Right. So one of the things that you've done is you've developed a system. You've had lots and lots of people that you've worked with. And why don't you talk a little bit about this breakthrough system that you have, Your Biggest Breakthrough?
Yeah. So Your Biggest Breakthrough really started with my biggest breakthrough. And I had been doing Visibly Fit transformations for over 20 years, like you mentioned. But I got to a point where I'm like, I have so much more to give. There's so much more. I was just so contained in this little box. And I thought, wow, okay. I met with a consultant and I also met with you and had a great conversation and realized, wow, I have arrived. I can bust out of that box and really deliver what people really want. And they want their biggest breakthrough over and beyond their health and wellness. I mean, you look at that AARP model and what people really want, but yet they need the health and wellness. And then I give them what they need so they can get what they want.
Right on.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you've got here, so you've got your big list, the primary makeovers that people are seeking, but then you've got your multipliers. So what are these? And I know you've got some great stories and some transformations you're going to bring us through. So just describe what those are and why they're so important.
Yeah, so you can kind of think of me, first of all, as kind of your biggest breakthrough matchmaker, because it may not just be one of these that you need. You might need a couple of these. And there's personal, there's family, there's spiritual, travel, health and wellness, relationship, volunteer, hobby, career, and financial. And so those actually can cross over to different multipliers, things like forgive, release, surrender, receive, self-love, Mike. Self-love is a big one. Reimagine is a big one. Elevate, accountability, energize, and manifest. There's so many of these multipliers that can really feed in to this makeover opportunity for your biggest breakthrough. And that's what I help people discover with a starter kit that I developed, and also help them take action and keep them accountable so they have that big breakthrough.
All right. Very good. I know one of the things that you're going to do is you're going to give everyone the biggest breakthrough starter kit, which is super cool. And that way they can basically pick and identify which of the makeovers they want and which multiplier, and then you guide them through that process. So
I totally guide them through it.
So why don't we start with a little story? What's the first one? And you've got transformations that you're going to share. I know anyone who's watching this is going to relate to these. So let's begin. Who's first and what's the first makeover?
Well, the very first makeover starts with the F word, actually. And the makeover, it's a personal one, right? And the multiplier is the F word. And that becomes a forgiveness piece. Starts with a girl, her name is Tara, and she's actually a young gal. gal, about 26, and she dealt a lot with endometriosis, was in doubled over kind of pain for years. I'm talking 12 years. Would have to go to bed or early in the evening, 6 o'clock, because she was so depleted of energy, and she's newly married. It really caused a big problem with her and her husband.
And what kind of business, or what does she do for a living?
Yeah, she's a childhood educator, so first grade teacher. So she needs a lot of energy, but she was very depleted, very down, felt really depressed, defeated, and wants to be a mom, quite frankly, and didn't see how that was ever going to happen. And so she reached out to me and really helped her through the process of her biggest breakthrough, through that F word, through forgiveness.
So let's talk a little bit about, so again, you take the makeover, which is personal, add the multiplier,
right?
You get the breakthrough.
She didn't realize the multiplier that she needed, though, right? That became her biggest breakthrough. It was something else that she was thinking in her head.
All right. So it's interesting how it started out as endometriosis, and it ended up being a big emotional block that was preventing her
100%. And now, just after, when we first started together, because I have a 7-week program that I walk you through, that first week, she was no longer in pain. I'm talking 12 years of pain, 1 week down, no more pain.
So amazing. All right. So what's the next makeover?
Well, the next makeover is a family makeover. Okay, so family is so important. And Cindy is a gal that went through my program. And Cindy is a big time family gal, like loves her family, wants to be very involved with her family, but realized as she became a new grandma that it was hard for her to get on and off the ground to play with her grandkids, right? Like there was that struggle, and she never thought she would see herself in that struggle position, but she realized that she needed to find a new way of releasing, quite frankly, releasing the weight and releasing emotions that were attached to the weight. So she went through a release process. And so I took her step by step through her biggest breakthrough, through part of what you'll get through your starter kit, but it's a qualifying piece. But also she was able to discover the emotions that she was hanging on to, which kept her hanging on to toxic, unhealthy, unwanted, unhealthy fat, quite frankly.
All right.
Yeah, which caused her a lot of aches and pains, and she was delivered from that. So it was good.
All right, very nice. And I know we've got amazing before and afters as well, images. So let's talk about the next makeover, and what the list I have here is spiritual. And it's really interesting. So the makeover, the multiplier, how did you connect these two together?
Yeah. So this was a gal that was actually already very spiritual. Her name's Kayla, and just a sweet girl. But she was dealing with her old story. Have you ever been stuck in an old pattern, an old story?
Many clients, everyone, somehow we've got attachments to something that anchors us, keeps us in history instead of being future paced, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it was really about seeing her break free of that old story and surrender that and step into her new. And within that moment of her doing that week where she was stuck and not releasing weight because she was looking to lose weight, she released six pounds just in that week. So once she surrendered that old and brought in the person that she really is, and she showed up and to be the person that she is, she released that excess weight.
All right. And one of the things that I see here is great before and after. And I see 18 pounds, 18 and a half inches, amazing before and after, and smiling,
right? Yeah. She's very happy. She surrendered. She's a new person.
All right.
And she's gone deeper in her spiritual walk.
I love that. So let's talk about the next makeover, which really gets into number 1 on the AARP list.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be old to have a bucket list.
No.
But what was the makeover and what was the multiplier here?
Yeah. So like you said, travel is the makeover. And the multiplier was that she just needed to receive. And I want to say she, her name is Fran. Fran was looking to receive energy, receive a newness about her. She didn't need to lose weight or be in any kind of condition that way. She was looking for strength. She was looking for energy.
What did she want? What was her big goal? And what was
she wanted to go on a missions trip? Okay. A missions trip. Right. And so she knew she needed a certain amount of energy and couldn't fulfill that calling that she had and wanted to do without that level of energy. So so that was that multiplier and makeover connection.
Fantastic. So the next one, which is your biggest passion, it's health and wellness.
Yeah.
And I know not everyone comes to you with that as the makeover, the breakthrough they're looking for, but it ends up being a huge part of what you deliver. Why don't you talk a little bit about Deb?
Yeah. So Deb, I love Deb. She is hilarious and she'll vouch for this. So when I called her during her biggest breakthrough, after she applied, she said she missed my call because she was literally stuffing her face with cheese puffs. So there you go. So she was just self-sabotaging already, even though she wanted to change. She just didn't understand or know how to give herself any kind of self-worth or self-love. And so that's the multiplier that she had as her biggest breakthrough, is a self-love and a self-discovery. She released over 100 pounds. Now, in this photo, I don't have that photo here, but you've got 5 months worth of release, and that's 72 pounds. I mean, she like full on makeover, right? And that, in fact, we took her and did a full makeover at the mall, and it was so fun to see her just blossom and bloom.
Yeah, I see her before and after here, and she was definitely a little thick.
Yes, and unhappy, depressed. Single mom, felt like she wasn't worth anything. Yeah. What
a big, and just being able to arrive at the right makeover and right multiplier is really interesting. How you've found a way to create a process and a system that's also attached in every case. Somehow it's really an emotion that seems to be the central cause and core of this.
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely an emotion. And that's usually what keeps people stuck, is an emotion, or they're stuck in an old belief system, right? Or maybe something that they've been told over the years that they've adopted. And it's not even true. They're lies, right? And so it's breaking free of those lies and rewiring the mind and learning new thought patterns so that they have actual new actions to go with that. So hers was self-love. And she shows up in a beautiful new ways, you can see.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, completely different energy.
Oh, my goodness.
So let's talk about relationships, because you deal with a lot of people who have... they walk in, they're looking for a breakthrough and a makeover in their relationships, whether they're married or maybe they're looking for the next someone. So what do you have there?
So I don't care how successful you are, or if you're without a career. Like, I don't care where you are on the spectrum. Everyone is looking for that breakthrough. It might be a breakthrough in finances, might be a breakthrough in relationship. For Julie, it was a relationship breakthrough for her. That was the makeover she was looking to have without her even realizing it. She had to reimagine her life. She was in subsidized housing. She had been a single mom for about 4 years. She didn't feel worthy. She couldn't even picture herself without that excess weight on her body. But she got to reimagine herself. And when she started to catch the vision that, I kept kind of dropping those seeds into her, but that's part of the breakthrough process, is her being able to reimagine and reinvent. She, within 7 weeks, released incredible amounts of weight. She actually started dating again, which was super cool. And she saw herself in a new light. And she wasn't this hard-nosed, just kind of crass woman that she used to be. She showed up in her feminine energy, which was beautiful. And so her children got to see her as the woman that she was really designed and created to be. And also in that 7 weeks, it gave her the courage and the confidence to go and get a new home in 7 weeks. I mean, imagine the shift of all of that. And that's like total life-changing stuff.
All right. So what's the happily ever after with her relationships? She started dating, but then what?
She married the man. They are together. Yeah, it's very fun. Very fun.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So the next one. Now, this is something that when I was researching you and chatting with you a little bit before we did this interview, the next story is about you.
Yeah.
And it's a big shift. So why don't you talk about the makeover, what you thought you wanted and what you actually received, and what was the multiplier for you that really was your big breakthrough?
Yeah. So it was all about volunteering. I wanted to give back. I love to give back, but I thought I kind of had to give back too, and I didn't really see the depth of the give back until I really started to give back in the capacity that I did. And I met with a gentleman, his name's Ray. And he had a little bit of dementia, a sweet, precious man, but I would help him just with his lunches and help him just rediscover, I don't know, just that he's worthy of having a conversation with someone, right? And we would take walks together, and I would help him around the house and just serve, just love on him where he's at and just serve. And it comes to find out that just being in that situation with him, it blessed me more than it, I know, blessed him, because I was very humbled. I was, I was just, gosh, I still cry about it. That's so amazing. I need to talk about Ray all the time. It elevated me to, wow, Ray is something pretty special. Maybe I need to just do a whole thing about Ray. Anyway, he elevated me in a way of being more compassionate for others and not being so judgmental, critical spirit. He helped me break down a lot of the ugly that I didn't realize that I had. And so that was my biggest breakthrough, not only my business being shifted after 20 years, but my personal breakthrough. And I was able to elevate myself without even realizing I was needing to be elevated. So Ray did that for me. And that was just through a simple volunteering process through, I think it was called Visiting Angels. And it was a really cool experience. And so it's helped me in all areas of life, not just personal, but professionally as well.
That's great. And how'd that show up, like, for your kids and your husband, who just happens to be off camera right now watching you?
Yeah. I think they appreciate the softer side.
Yeah. No, I can see that. You are definitely a hard driver, and you're hard on yourself, and you are always there for your clients and your customers.
Right.
And just you're very, very focused on other people, and just having that breakthrough. You can see how it just, shifted you.
Right. And just, I'm hands-on, and I give my all to everyone. And I needed to turn that around and give it back to myself. And so it was a beautiful experience.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Good for you. Good for you.
So, hey, there's that. Yeah. And then the next one, the makeover is actually hobby. Like, have you had a hobby, but you forgot what it was, and you've kind of lost part of yourself because you're no longer doing that hobby?
Too busy.
Right.
20 years. I've got a few pains in my life where I'm like, when I have time, and some days
may never come. Yeah. So we have to figure out what that hobby is and embrace it and start getting in that creative space and doing those things that we enjoy and love, because that will allow us to really think differently and also have more appreciation for life. But Jean is my hobby kind of transformation woman there, because she loved to go biking with her husband, and she got overweight, just taking care of everybody else. Like, here I am talking about my breakthrough earlier. We as women, we're kind of wired that way. We take care of others and then put ourselves last. And that's the wrong way to go about it. But Jean did just that. And so she had a turnaround. She was her husband's big time into biking. And she really had a case of FOMO, fear of missing out. Like, her husband was going out riding with all of her friends, and they had like a bike riding group. And she just wasn't in the physical capacity to be able to do that. And she was sad. She was depressed. She was angry. And she decided to do something about that. And being a kind of an athlete-minded person anyway, she knew how to do it. She just needed the accountability. So she needed me to kind of kick her in the butt and keep her accountable. So I was that person for her. And that was her biggest breakthrough, to, I think, just release the idea that she didn't need to do it all herself, that the accountability was key.
It's beautiful. And we can see the before and after here, going from a size 18 to a size 8.
Yeah.
Noticeable shift. And you can just see, and you can see her posture and the smile. I mean, she seems like a different person. She's carrying herself, holding herself differently too. It's beautiful.
Yeah. No, it's very cool. And then we've got 2 more here that I want to touch on. So career is another makeover. A lot of women are either stuck in their careers, or they define their life around who they are as far as their career. And I've been there, done that myself. So, or even just the career of being a mom. Like, what's the next hat that we're supposed to wear? Like, how do we change all of that? So Bonnie, which she was a child care educator, and she really was dealing with some serious energy issues. Like, she was exhausted, could not give herself to the children. She would fall asleep on the couch every day after being with the kids, and just couldn't muster up enough energy. She was depressed, down and out, a little overweight, not a lot, but 30 pounds, but just didn't feel like like just kind of lackluster, you know? So she was looking for a shift, and it was the energy shift that changed her. And now she is running 5Ks with her son. She's created a ripple effect in her family. Her son has gone through he's had his biggest breakthrough. It's just really cool because more is caught than taught. So she didn't even have to say anything to them. They just saw her countenance change and her energy change, and they wanted some of that too. And so your biggest breakthrough can cause a ripple effect around all those that you know. So it's pretty cool. It's not just about you.
What a big pay it forward. I see the before and after Jay. And again, very noticeable. You can see how he's holding himself. He's got a different posture. It's very impressive.
Yeah. So that's fun. So, and then the last one is a financial makeover. This was an interesting one because it isn't the typical breakthrough that I usually work with people on, but man, was this powerful. So Gail had gone through the 7 weeks. She had really done a lot of the health and wellness portion, and she was in a good place. And in fact, after she finished the 7 weeks, she said, I just feel at peace. And I thought, man, that's awesome. I feel at peace. That means she feels comfortable in her own skin again, right? But she was really, she felt at peace about her health, but where she didn't feel at peace was her financial situation. And she had called me and said, in fact, she was crying. She said, I don't know what to do. I'm in tens of thousands of debt with the IRS. I'm scared. I had to go get another job on top of my full-time awesome career that I have just to pay this off. And it's causing, strife in the marriage. And anyway, we went through a spiritual exercise that really unblocked the belief system. And I believe that, just that faith is small as a mustard seed, right? It can move mountains. And this was her mountain that she needed to move. And I believe that mustard seed just needed to be watered. And I just helped her water it a little bit more and see things differently and break open to a new belief and a new mindset. So it manifested really the what she was already had in process, but she was able to receive it and believe it. And so she had some things going with the IRS. She had asked for favor, basically. And she went to the mailbox 2 days after our spiritual breakthrough, hers. And there was a letter in the mail that said she was no longer in debt, these tens of thousands of dollars. It was only a tenth of the amount. And she was like doing a happy dance. Couldn't believe it. That was exactly the amount she had in her savings. And so she was no longer in debt, no longer felt tied down, and realized that, wow, life and death is in the power of the tongue. And so what we spoke out started to come to pass. And so it gave her more belief and more faith.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love the idea of a manifestation multiplier. That's a really powerful concept. And it's a great way to bridge all this together. So let's talk a little bit about your system. And that is your biggest breakthrough. That is what you've been developing. So we've got a starter kit for everyone who's watching right now so they can get exposed to your system, but also people who decide to continue to work with you and have that opportunity, which anyone who's watching and listening to us and reading about you right now, if you ever get a chance to work with Wendie Pett, definitely take her up on that opportunity. But who's a right fit for you? Who consistently gets great results?
Yeah, the people that get consistent great results are those that really know why that they're looking for a breakthrough, and those that are willing to do the work. It doesn't just happen. You have to do the work. But I am there 100%. Holding your hand, basically, to help you bust through to that new level of living, and to help you see that there is a greater purpose and a greater calling than maybe what you're currently living at. Maybe you're just living in a status quo, humdrum kind of state of mind, and I'm there to help you get to that next level of living. And so that's what your biggest breakthrough does. And the starter kit will walk you through it. You can go to yourbiggestbreakthrough.com and get it right away, and then you can apply. We'll have a conversation, and let's see what your biggest breakthrough is.
I love it. So and this is for you. Again, head on over to yourbiggestbreakthrough.com. You can learn more about Wendie, get your starter kit, learn more about working with her. And Wendie, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. It's been beautiful.
Thank you so much.
All right.